Welcome back to another episode of Uploaded and Unfiltered. I'm your host, Jermaine, and today we're going to have another quick and easy installment of Didn't Prepare Anything Tonight. So, in preparation for this episode, I asked my oldest daughter, I was like, what subject should I talk about? The first thing she came out with was science, which I could spin a science episode into this, but I want to brush up on my synthetic nervous system, all that fun stuff. I'm not going to go down that route. Plus, it gets a little heady pretty quick, but she did give me a second option. Now, when I think of habits, naturally, the first thing I think of is something that is good to do and something to get into a routine that my brain doesn't have to think about. I just do it automatically. That is my definition of a habit, but a habit doesn't have to be a good thing. A habit can be something that is not beneficial for you. For instance, if you're the type of person, and I'm probably talking about myself, when you start editing your video for the week, you edit for 5 to 10 minutes, and then any type of distraction that pops up, you run towards it, no hesitation. For instance, for me, I need to set a timer for 30 minutes and edit straight 30 minutes. And if I feel myself about to get up from my chair or I feel myself about to open my phone and start scrolling, I look at the timer, which that's where the timer is on my phone. And I'm like, oh, I've only been doing this for 15 minutes. I got 15 more minutes to go. And then that snaps me out of the bad habit of not finishing or going through with the edit that I'm doing at that particular time. So I think it is very important to analyze your routines. Analyze what do you do when you start to create content, whether it's the shooting of the content, the formulation of the content, editing the content, uploading the content. I would encourage you to look at every aspect of your creative pipeline. And if you don't feel like you have a creative pipeline, right now is the perfect time to create one. For instance, for my podcast, right now, since I've been doing a lot of solo episodes, is really pretty straightforward. I open up Riverside Studio, I record my podcast, wait 10 to 15 minutes for that podcast to be done going through the upload process. I open up the podcast on the website, do some voice cleanup. I cut out anything that maybe there's too long of a pause, or sometimes at the beginning of the episode, I'd be saying random shit. I need to delete that. Once I'm done with that, I export it as a MP3 into my cloud folder. That cloud folder is attached to my iPad. I open up my iPad, open up Ferrite because I only edit audio on my iPad because it's fun as hell and is what I've been doing for the longest. Is there a better way to do it? Probably, but right now it doesn't cost me any time to edit it on my iPad, so that's why I will continue to edit it. Once I open up Ferrite, take my music track, throw it in the front, move that main track back a couple 15 seconds or so, cut off the audio when I'm getting into the meat of the podcast. At the end, when I say thank you for listening, I put the other piece of music, cut it down to about 5 seconds after I finish talking. Then I edit the episode. Oh, after I do that, what do I do next? Oh, out of Riverside, I ask its AI agent to give me a transcript of the episode. I take that transcript and upload it to my personally created ChatGPT, where I just say, give me a podcast treatment, and it gives me a title, a few title suggestions, a description, and a link to book a session with me for a mindset session. Oh man, I know there's something else. Oh, also, after I do that, I open up Canva, I hit duplicate on my episode artwork. I change the number, update the episode number, I change the title, I change the picture. I export that out to my episodes cloud folder. Then I go to Buzzsprout, open up Buzzsprout, upload the file, input the keywords, title, and description, upload the artwork, and I set it schedule at Tuesday at 8 a.m. Then I'm done. That is a process of getting the podcast uploaded from beginning to end. Once I'm done with that process, a new one begins, which I start cutting parts of the episode for marketing shorts purposes. And that's it. Now, there are pieces of this pipeline that I want to upgrade, that I want to get back to. I used to be really good about uploading an episode and doing everything I need to do on YouTube so it goes live. All my episodes are up there for the last probably 60 episodes, but they're all hidden right now because it goes private until I make the changes I need to make, and then I go live with it. Right now, I'm in a position where I do want to go video with the podcast, but I did not sit down and look at what that's going to look like in the future. I have a few guests lined up within the coming weeks, and I would really like to have that ironed out before they come on because I don't want to like test trial with guests on. So I think this week I will be focusing on Wednesday. I start creating a new goal for the week. I will be focusing on figuring out what video content looks like for the podcast. I also need to update the Uploaded and Unfiltered.com website. I have a area where I have all the past guests there that links to whatever piece of social they wanted to link to, as well as their episode. I have dropped the ball on that, mostly because it's just been me for the last, I'd probably say 6 months. I think August was the last time I had a guest on. And I just got into the habit of not asking people to be on a podcast. That habit is, now that I look at it, now that I'm saying it out loud, I know that I want to change it. And the next step is just to change it. I think we as creators get into these routines, these habits, these slumps that when we get comfortable, when something is just moving, we don't see a need to improve upon it, or we don't see a need to step outside of our comfort zone and analyze and see if there's anything that we could be doing better. And I think that is part of the journey, part of not only goal setting, but achieving your goals is analyze your goals. If you nail your goals every week and nothing's changed, while that's a good goal to have that, like, hey, you're hitting it, you're being consistent, there are things in that equation that you can change that'll probably be better for you in the long run. For instance, right now, my content goal is 2 long form videos, which I've been nailing for this entire year so far, and 10 pieces of short content. Now, I haven't did every week 10 pieces of short content, but I've been way more consistent than I ever been in the past. So the next step is, I think I have it in me to make 2 YouTube videos for my main Kryptonite channel. Like today, I got in pieces for my lightsaber. I've already shot the beginning of that. I swapped out the pieces. Everything works as intended. The next step is to, and this is just pizzazz for the video, I'm going to dress up as a Jedi Knight and use a lightsaber kind of in the dark so it can get some cool ass cinematic pictures, video, put that in the front, put that in the end, edit that thing. It should took me no longer than an hour to edit that video, and then I'll be done. The next video I want to do is I have a silly amount of Legos just hanging out in my closet waiting to be put together. So I think this week, if I don't do it tonight, I'll do it tomorrow on the stream. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Talking out loud. I'm going to do a Lego build where I build from ground up. I think I'm going to do the bamboo one that I have because it's 325 pieces. It's easy. While I'm doing this, I'm going to be testing different angles. Like I definitely know I want to have a hyperlapse of every bag that I put together, but I also want to have some close-up shots to show you how intricate Lego can get. And then at the end, I need to figure out how I'm going to install the lighting. I did it once for the Christmas tree, and it was kind of a pain in the butt. If the lights situation is easier to get on and install, I'll probably record that as well, put that at the end, and boom, done. That's 2 videos that I'm going to have for that channel. And as far as scheduling it, we'll figure it out later. Maybe I do this extra video and then next week, if something comes up, I just don't have to rush to put together a video. I already have one in the chamber. As far as my radiant reflection, my mindset videos go, that always comes randomly. I always have these thoughts of talks that I want to have. And sometimes they come quicker than others. Sometimes it's while I'm on the trail. I'm like, oh, I'm going to talk about this. But that works for me right now. I'm in the habit of that working for me right now. I could change that habit that I can list out all these things that I want to talk about and just pick from the list. But right now, my inspiration or my drive to make these videos does not work like that. It's very spur in the moment. What am I feeling? Let's talk about it. So So now that to say this, take a look at what your pipeline is, what your content creation structure looks like, analyze it, and see if there's any spots where you can upgrade some of the steps that you're taking to get that content out. See if there's anything that you're doing that is causing unnecessary anxiety, unnecessary rough spots. And if you can smooth those out, it will make the process of creating content that much better. So with that, thank you for listening. I appreciate it. I haven't been this excited about creating content in a very long time. I'm saying, you know what? I want to say the podcast has given me that reminder that I could do anything I put my mind to. I've been doing this podcast since I started it without missing a week. I don't think you realize how crazy that is. That's with vacations. That's with going to the airport, family errands need to be run, soccer games, all that stuff, and having guests on. I will say adding guests makes it a little more, I don't want to say hard, but a little more strenuous because you got to rely on somebody else. But everybody I've had on the podcast has showed up on time, has not been late, has nailed it out. So I think next week, I think I've done this before, but I might do a little deep dive. I think I'm going to analyze the guests portion of the podcast as far as how I get guests on, how I get them set up for success with having a survey, having Calendly so they can pick what time works for them. Because I don't like playing the guessing game. I don't like saying, hey man, I'm doing a podcast this Friday. You want to be on it? I can't make it this Friday. I don't like hearing no's. I'm not afraid to hear no's, but I'd rather give you an environment where it's easier for you to say yes rather than have to stress out to see if you have the time to do it. That's why I have the calendar invite system. That's why I have a invitation that goes over what the podcast is, what we'll be talking about. And that's also why I do the survey. It'll get your mind moving in the right direction. So when you see that survey, you're like, oh, these are the type of things it's asking. I make you write your own bio because I think it's very important that you know what type of content you make, you know who your audience is, and you're able to speak about yourself in a positive manner. That goes a long way. Feel like I'm rambling, but it also feels good. So I'm going to go for another. I'm just playing. We're done. If you haven't shared the podcast with someone who could benefit from conversations like these and more, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Uploaded and Unfiltered is the podcast that talks about the mindset of creators, but specifically, my audience to me is Black content creators because now more than ever, we need to show up in these spaces and show our brand of who we are, show our brand of entertainment. Because I don't know if you noticed, but the AI bots are out there spewing the most negative bullshit perspectives because that keeps the people confused. That keeps the people busy from what's really happening out here in the world. I think my vlog for this week is going to be talking about perspectives because knowing how perspectives work, understanding how your emotions are a direct reflection of the thoughts your unconscious mind are running over in its off time, like knowing that information helps getting out of slumps easier. It helps the process move smoothly. And I think the more that we can contain our perspective and watch what influences our perspective, the better off we'll be in the long run. Other than that, I appreciate you for listening. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I almost said another than that again. Instrumental, keep creating content, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.